Welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo, and today I'm going to issue a listing challenge to everyone. This is going to be the February 2021 listing challenge. I'm going to issue this challenge to everyone, including myself, because I would never challenge you guys to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So I will be participating in this as well. And I'm going to see if I can't get Keith on board, even though he's already doing what he needs to be doing. But we can keep track of what he's listing alongside of me. So most of you know that Keith and I had taken most of December off, and then about half of January as well, as we had been focusing on a lot of other projects and things going on in our lives. We just weren't listing as we should be. And our sales took a toll. That's just what happens. If you don't list every single day, your sales are going to go down. An active store is a happy store. So if you're listing consistently every single day, your sales are going to increase and you're going to sell more overall. If you don't list every single day, your sales are going to go down. If you're not consistent, your sales are going to kind of do like a roller coaster thing. And if you list consistently, but you don't increase the amount of listings, or you're not covering what you're selling, and you're not growing how much your listings overall are, then you're going to hit a stagnant point as well, and you're not going to really see any growth. So the idea of the listing challenge is to, one, get everyone to be listing every single day, but listing consistently and hitting a consistent goal every day, and to also be covering what you're selling in addition to growing and having just a consistent overall growth, as well as good habits in daily listing, so that you're not listing 4 one day, 2 the next, 3 this day, skipping 4 days, listing another 10, having a blowout day where you're doing 20 and then a 40 and then not for a week at all. Because even if you're listing those big numbers some of those days, that's not helpful. It's the consistency that's the key. You can't take all of December off and then bust your butt all January and expect to see immediate results. It takes time to see those results, and the consistency is what is the key to that. So I'm going to challenge everyone to do this listing challenge with me. We're going to do it all the way through February. I'm going to do a video once a week for a check-in, and you guys can feel absolutely free in the comments on each of these check-in videos to list what your goals were, if you met them, if you didn't meet them, where you're at. And you can feel free along the way to increase your numbers if you feel like your initial goals were too easy. I've talked about that on this channel before. If you're consistently meeting your goals in a way that they feel too easy, you just keep blowing through them and they're not a challenge, then maybe your goals were too easy, and so you can up your numbers a little bit. So if you start out at the beginning of February and you say, I want to list 5 a day, and that just feels too easy by mid-February, feel free to make it 8 or 10. You don't have to publicly put anything in the comments, but you can. Like I said, I'll be doing 1 video a week for everyone to hear me check in, because I'm going to be completely transparent every week. I'm going to let you know what I'm doing. And if I'm meeting my goals, what they are. And then in the comments, you can check in. You can let us know how you're doing, if you changed your goals. And that works backwards too, you guys. If you come into this really lofty, I'm going to list 20 a day, and you find that that's consistently too hard for you to do, and it's just not feasible with your life, you can back down to 10 if you feel like that's going to be more feasible. And I'm also going to have a thread in our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, you should be. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. There's a link in the description box, or you can just search for it on Facebook and join. It's a free group. I'm going to put a thread in there, and it's going to be in the announcement section. So when you go to the group, at the top, there's tabs and you go to the announcement tab, if you click on that, it'll be in the announcement section. It's going to be one post for the whole month, and each person should comment one time and then respond to their own comment as they're checking in, so we don't get a whole mess of comments. Does that make sense? So I'll make the initial post, and let's say John Smith comments on the thread his initial goals. Every time he comes back in to check in, he should respond to that instead of making a new comment. So all of John's is on his own comment, and then Anne can come in and have hers. But feel free to comment on each other's for encouragement and to interact with each other. So that'll be in the announcements. You can check in there as much as you want, once a day, every day, to let us know how you're doing, or hold your own self accountable if that's what you want to do. Or you can check in once a week when the video comes out. You can check in there and on the YouTube comments, or just on one or the other. Or you can participate silently if you're the type of person who doesn't like to be in the limelight, or you don't want your goals made public or people, knowing what you're doing. You can just get a notebook and write your stuff down and just participate privately. Maybe just let someone in your life know what you're doing. I've talked about that on this channel as well. If you make a goal in your life and you don't tell anyone, there's absolutely zero accountability for you to do that goal, and you might not do it if no one else knows about it. The best analogy I had was quitting smoking. If you tell yourself, I quit smoking 5 years ago, but if you tell yourself you're going to quit smoking and you don't tell anybody else and you don't quit, you can just tell yourself, oh, well, next week. But if you had told a friend, they might say, hey, what are you doing? You said you were going to quit. That's a really good analogy for that. So if you're a private person and you just want to keep track in a notebook or your bullet journal, tell a friend, tell a close friend in the reselling community, tell your spouse or your partner, just so someone knows what you're doing, so there's some sort of accountability there. But there will be a thread in the group. You can do the comments on here. We can cheer each other on and support one another in this. So what I want you guys to do is get your bullet journals out, or scratch paper or notebook, whatever you have. And I want you to first write down what you're currently listing every day. And I want you to be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, then who can you be honest with, right? So I want you to be 100% honest with yourself. Don't write down what you wish you were listing every day. Don't write down what you should be listing every day. Don't write down what your goals are to be listing every day. I want you to write down the 100% honest truth. What do you list every day? If the truth is that you're only listing 2 things a day because you fiddle fart around, write 2 things. Write whatever it is. And then write down what it should be, what you want it to be, what your goals are. And then below that, so you should have what you actually do, what you want it to be, what your goals are. And then below that, write a plan of action. Because without a plan of action, you can't make your goals a reality. You have to have stepping stones along the way, or rungs on the ladder to step on to get to the goal. So write down a plan of action underneath those 2 numbers. You're going to have to know how many items you're going to need to source each week, how many items you're going to need to prep and photograph each day, or in sessions, and how many sessions each week, in order to have that amount to list. So for instance, if your goal is to list 10 a day, 6 days a week, and take 1 day off, you're going to have 60 items sourced, prepped, photographed. And prepping includes washing, checking for stains and faults and measurements and all of that. All that falls under prep. So you'll have to have 60 things sourced, prepped, and photographed and ready to go. Are you going to go each day and do 10, prep it, take 10 items, prep, photograph, list? Or do you want to take 1 day and prep, photograph 30, and then list 20, list 10, and then do another big chunk of 30, list 20, list 10. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to figure out your plan of action. How are you going to do it? How many times a week are you going to photograph? When are you going to source? When are you going to prep? When are you going to list to hit these numbers? Everyone's life is different. Everyone's responsibilities and activities and routines and things that they have to do each day are different. So your plan of action is going to be different from anyone else's. And only you know when you can fit these into your life and what you're doing. But you need to have that plan of action, because without a solid plan of action with those nice little stepping stones along the way, you're setting yourself up for failure. You can write down in your book all you want, whatever your goal is, whether it's 10 or 50 a day. But if you don't plan for when you're going to source those items and when you're going to photograph them, you're not going to get it done. So know that whatever your goal is, that's what you're going to have to source and photograph and everything as well. And you got to plan your routines and time management and all of that. And then you'll be able to check in and let us know how you're doing. So write down what you're actually doing, what you'd like to do, and then your little plan of action on how you're going to do it. Some people like to do a little bit each day. Some people like to do one big photograph day and then list throughout the week. Some people like to take one day off or 2 days off. Whatever it is that you like to do, just make sure that you're planning it out so that you're going to hit your goals. So I'm going to let you know what my goals are going to be, and then I will check in with you next week as to where I stand and what I am doing as far as hitting those goals. So where I'm at right now is actually what I want to be doing because I've been working the last week or two in getting back to my normal routines. We had taken off most of December, as you know. In the beginning of January, we were focusing a lot on our wholesale side of our business and writing guides. So we weren't really listing. So if I were to say then what I was doing, it was a big fat. I was ending the listings each morning that were about to end and selling similar to at least get activity in the store. But what I need to be doing each day for myself, I need to be listing 10 new items on eBay and cross-posting 10 to Poshmark and cross-posting 5 to Mercari at the minimum. So those are my goals. I pretty well can do more than that some days, but because of my back, there's days I can do less. So I try to not be too lofty. Like I always tell you guys, don't set yourself up for failure by planning to do more than you can physically do or that you're capable of doing with whatever else you have going on in your life. So while I know if I have the photographs already taken, I can lay in bed on my heating pad and list more than that. That's fine. My back can handle that. But if I don't have the photographs taken, my back can't really handle taking more than 10 photos a day. You know what I mean? So just to err on the side of caution, plus with all of the other responsibilities I have with this YouTube channel and running social media and taking into account that I do have my back issues, my goals are just 10 on eBay, 10 to crosspost to Poshmark, and 5 on Mercari. And then Keith typically lists 20 to 30 a day on eBay. That's his goals. So that's what I want to do. Don't forget, that reminds me, don't forget to add in your own personal goals if cross-posting is part of your goals as well. Don't just write down your goals for eBay. If you cross-post, add those in. So whatever new listings you want on eBay as well as whatever you cross-post to other platforms. I only do 5 to Mercari just because we don't sell a lot on there, and I don't see really the payout on that platform. I know a lot of people do well on Mercari, but we don't. We never have. And I don't feel justified in spending any more time than the minute and a half it takes with List Perfectly to put 5 new plush on there a day. I'm okay with spending a minute and a half using the bulk option on List Perfectly to put 5 plush on there a day for the 1 or 2 I might sell a month. But any more time than that to me is wasteful because it's not making money. But putting 10 on Poshmark a day is absolutely worth it. And if I have extra time, or if I am laying in the bed and I'm on my heating pad, and I have my phone with me, I may do 20 a day on Poshmark, because it's so much easier to do that than eBay. But those are my goals. So I'm going to check in with you guys once a week throughout the month of February and let you know how I'm doing. And then I want to hear from you guys as well. We can check in with each other. Again, I'm going to have that thread in the group, which is where you can check in daily if you want, and then you'll have a weekly video that you can check in here also. You can do both, one or the other, or again, you can be a quiet participant, but just make sure you tell somebody that you're doing this so there's at least some accountability outside of yourself. All right, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm excited to hear from you guys. This is going up on Saturday, the 6th. So we'll already have been 1 week in February. So we'll have the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. We'll have 3 Saturdays where I'll be checking in with you guys. And I'll probably run this into March, at least into that first Saturday in March. So we have like a full 4 weeks, like a full month of doing this. And then hopefully that will put us into a situation where we've created a new habit. You guys know I talk a lot about that when I talk about creating routines and schedules and getting our bullet journal set up. When you create a new habit or you create a new routine, it typically takes 30 days to make something new a habit. If you're starting a new goal, a new exercise routine, taking a new vitamin, whatever, it takes 30 days of doing it consistently to make it autopilot. So if I run this through March 6th, we'll have four full weeks, 4 Saturdays. That's 30 days. Hopefully, by creating these new goals and these plans of actions and routines that we're all going to put into place for 30 days together and checking in and having all that accountability and everything, at the end of the month, it will be a new habit that we've all created and something that we can continue forward, moving forward into the rest of 2021. And it's just going to be habitual that we're all going to have really good listing habits and sticking to our goals and listing more and being consistent with those listing goals, because that's what's important to the algorithm, to Cassini on eBay. It's not, having a marathon 100 listings in one day and then not listing for a week. It's really having consistency every single day. All right, again, check in with me down below. Hit the thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell so you're notified when I put up new videos, and join the Facebook group so you can participate in the thread there. And it's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod, so you can search for it on Facebook, but there's a link down below that you can just click on. It's free to join again. And until next time, guys, go sit down and think about this. Write down your plans of action and your goals. Be productive. Make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Bye.